Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to the Fort Salem Library, where we read you your fanfiction. So sit down or don't, relax or don't, and enjoy these stories in a way you have not before. We at Fort Salem Library do not own Motherland Fort Salem or any of the related characters. The Motherland Fort Salem series is created by Elliot Lawrence and owned by Freeform. This story is a work of fanfiction and is meant for entertainment only. We are not making any profit from these stories. All rights of the original Motherland Fort Salem story belong to Freeform. We also do not own Until Morning or any of its original characters and storylines. We did, however, get permission from the author to read their story. This story was created and written by JordanUnbroken, and you can find the link on our show notes. This story is being read to you by me, Britt. Until Morning, Chapter 3. Scylla's apartment felt quiet. Even with music on, or a TV show playing as background noise, nothing could make Scylla feel settled. Scylla laid back onto the sofa and flicked off the TV. It had been 10 years since her parents were killed, but trauma had a way of creeping out, even after creating a new life for yourself and years of therapy. There was a lot to unpack. Scylla thought about the trial after the accident, and the blonde woman on the witness stand who sobbed her apologies for her actions and said she would take whatever punishment the court decided. Was she truly sorry? Or was she trying to garner sympathy? Maybe she realized she was leaving behind a daughter who would be a grown woman by the time she was released. At least she could meet her grandchildren if Rael had any. Scylla's parents never saw her graduate, become a doctor, and will never walk her down the aisle if she gets married. Maybe Willa Caller realized she made an orphan of Scylla, and that two young women were going to grow up without mothers. Tears burned Scylla's eyes and fell down her cheeks. Rael didn't deserve what happened to her any more than she did. Scylla sent a text to her friend before she could spiral any further with her thoughts. She needed to get out of the quiet and breathe a little air. Having a rough night? Dinner? Within moments, Anacostia and Abigail replied, telling her they would see her at their favorite place for drinks and dinner. Scylla got ready, giving herself time to pull herself together. Some self-care was in order. Matching lingerie and her favorite dress made her feel more like herself. Spending most of her days wearing hospital scrubs made her feel a little less human sometimes. She pulled her hair back and applied her lipstick before putting her phone and wallet into a small black clutch purse. With one last look in the mirror, Scylla Ramshorn was ready to forget all about Rael Caller. Rael had been working hard with the speech therapist and could speak more freely, though still not perfectly. Rael loved her own quick wit and missed being able to banter with her friends or crack jokes with her dad. Her father sat by her side, currently going through the pages of a newspaper. "Oh, your women's soccer team won their championship. Good for them. Maybe we could game?" Speaking was like trying to run through soft sand, sometimes tripping over herself. "I'd love that." Edwin put the paper on her bedside table and leaned over to her. "I'm sorry we haven't spent much time together lately. I miss you and want to change that." He patted her casted arm. "I could do better, too," Rael spoke. "You're young and have your own life to live. I understand that." Rael shook her head. "Almost died puts in view," she winced. "Perspective," Edwin supplied. "I know. I wouldn't know what to do if I lost you, kiddo. I called your mother. She was worried but glad you're on the mend." Rael groaned. "I know it's not easy, but she loves you, and I think it may do you both some good to see each other. She isn't the awful person you make her out to be." Edwin sat back in his chair. "She was beside herself knowing you were hurt." Rael shook her head. How could she even begin to explain to her father what really happened? How it wasn't her mother's fault, why she couldn't bear to see her. Maybe, she told him. Perhaps he would leave it alone for a while. Raelle was still bedbound for the time being anyway. She laid back into her bed. "I'm tired, Pops. See you tomorrow?" "Sure, sweetheart." Edwin got up, kissed Raelle on her forehead, and left her laying there alone with her thoughts. Raelle didn't really believe in higher power, but maybe karma exists? What are the odds she could kill 2 people in a car accident, then get hit by a truck herself? She was glad she was still alive, but her guilt told her she deserved every scar. At least her father didn't seem to realize who her doctor was, or that Dr. Scylla Ramshorn didn't know who she was. How do you tell the person that saved your life that your mother is in prison for killing her parents, but that it was actually you who drove the car? Karma sure had a funny way of spinning fate. Please find the fanfiction you just listened to on Archive of Our Own, and leave the author some love. Without them, this wouldn't be possible, and we want to thank them from the bottoms of our hearts for creating these amazing stories and keeping the show alive.